Major shots just got fired at the Cleveland Browns, and this time, they didn't come from a rival. They came from Joe Flacco. And trust me, what he said, it's got fans doing a double take. Because this wasn't just an interview. This felt personal. Welcome back to Keep the Vision. If you rock with real Browns content, you already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that bell, because what we're about to break down, yeah, it changes the way you look at this entire situation. So here's where things get interesting. The Cleveland Browns came into last season with 4 quarterback options. For different paths, for different futures. And who did Kevin Stefanski choose to start week 1? Joe Flacco. But here's the part nobody can ignore. Just 1 month later, it was over. Experiment done. Plug pulled. And then somehow it gets worse. Because Andrew Berry turns around and sends Flacco to a division rival, the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, you heard that right. A rival. Now at first, it didn't look like a big deal. Flacco in Cleveland, 58% completions, 815 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Nothing crazy. But the second he gets to Cincinnati, everything changes. 13 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Let that sink in. Same player, completely different results. So what happened? Well, according to reports, and honestly just watching the tape, Stefanski tried to turn Flacco into something he's not. Ultra-conservative, safe throws, no real vertical attack. And that completely killed what Flacco does best. Because love him or hate him, he can still launch that ball downfield. And now he's back with the Bengals. And this is where things go from interesting to straight-up disrespect. Because when asked about teams passing on him, Flacco didn't hold back. Not even a little bit. He said, "I think teams are dumb for not having me be that guy. Yeah, it pisses me off." Let's be real. He didn't say Browns. But he didn't have to. You don't need to be a detective to connect the dots. This is a quarterback who helped take Cleveland to the playoffs in 2023. Only to be pushed aside, then brought back later into a worse situation. Less weapons, a weaker offensive line, and a system that never fit him. And here's the uncomfortable truth Browns fans don't want to hear. What if Flacco wasn't the problem? What if the system failed him? Because the moment he left, he looked like a completely different quarterback. Now, to be fair, Cleveland did need to look toward the future. You've got young names like Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders waiting in the wings. You have to evaluate that talent. You can't build long-term around a short-term solution. But still, you can't help but wonder, how different would things look right now if they handled this situation differently? Because one thing is clear after all of this. The Browns' offense last season? Predictable, stagnant, no vertical threat. And in today's NFL, that's a death sentence.
You are going to have to do a lot of convincing.
I mean, he didn't sound like Dabo when he was talking about Taj Boyd.
No, nobody will.
Right?
But would you have rathered him sound like Dabo?
No. I think we got close to the truth. I asked him if he'd start on week 1, and he goes, I don't make that decision, which means no. He wouldn't start on week 1. He started 15 games. I wouldn't start on week 1. That's half the reason I don't want him here. Is I think we would bury him. And then the reasons to take him that I'm getting from listeners is so haphazard and silly, I don't even want to bring it up, but I'll bring it up. When people keep giving me Josh Rosen as a reason, you can just go back to there. So I'm going to just risk. I'm going to make an investment on a quarterback, but I can just throw it aside when I could have had another first-round pick and added to my football team. That don't make any sense. Go ahead.
Well, here's Kalen. You guys asked him, would you start Ty Simpson week 1? Here's the full answer.
I don't know. That's not for me to decide. That's for him, and that learning curve that comes along with any move, whether it's high school or college. And obviously, there's a big step from college to the NFL. I certainly respect that. And I know Ty does too. But I can tell you this: I can tell you he put his head down and go compete for a job from the get-go. And so that part I can tell you, and he'll do it the right way.
Kalen DeBoer also played baseball, and baseball is back. Opening night is live on Netflix today. March 25th, Aaron Judge, the Yankees. They clash with Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. MLB opening night, Yankees, Giants. Live on Netflix, 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for you listening on the free Odyssey app. So we didn't sell many people on Ty Simpson. 216-474-0092. Are we just out on him altogether? Is the conversation over?
Part of it
I
is,
don't think he ended the conversation. I think Dan Orlovsky failing to back himself up on Ty Simpson is what ended the conversation yesterday.
Well, and I'm trying to be as fair as humanly possible for a prospect that doesn't really meet any of the thresholds athletically, doesn't meet the threshold hand size, doesn't meet the threshold body, physique.
What's the hand size? I didn't even see the hand size.
I think it's expected to be. We know from the combine.
We little tiny hands.
Yeah, I don't think they were very big. So you
bad.
throw all that into the hopper together, plus the lack of starts. Go ahead, Owen.
Those hands, 9 3/8.
Okay.
Isn't that not bad?
I will measure him against other quarterbacks.
Those paws are all right, I think.
What were Keith Britton's?
Oh, he's
9 7/16 inches.
He had big hands. I have the second biggest hands on the fan.
All I'm saying is he really doesn't check a lot of the boxes for it's certainly not an elite prospect.
Yeah, so it's a no.
And I guess we'll be fair. Fernando Mendoza is not considered an elite prospect. He's considered a very good,
number one in this draft. Yeah,
but a first round grade, but not an elite prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Elite would be Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. We've gone through that to death. In this case, I'm not saying he's not worth a team taking. I don't think it makes sense for the Browns. And normally you should throw that at me like, wait, Lyman, you're the one that criticized everybody else for saying no to everybody. But he is not a prospect that, to me, makes sense consuming space in a room where you're still trying to figure out how good Shedeur is and doing whatever you're doing with Deshaun Watson, who we had a reporter on the afternoon show yesterday who thinks there's a 70% chance somebody else starts. So I don't think he makes sense with the Browns today.
I think it'd be
really
a 70% chance that Deshaun Watson starts is what they were saying. And you had two other people, and Joe DeLeon and John Fana, and we love John, and they're all saying the same thing about the quarterback situation, that it looks like it's going to be it would be a Deshaun Watson who is winning out. I'm not taking Ty Simpson just to avoid Deshaun Watson. So I'm getting my wish. And I know that I'm going to have to sit here on Sundays in the fall because I still don't think they're going to win that many games. Now, I think they can do better than 5. I don't think they can do better than 8. But there's going to be some Sundays going, are you happy with what you got? I'm going to have to say yes. I'm going to have to take that or duck, one of the two, because I'm not willing to make a bad investment. I don't want to make a bad investment on quarterback and have it cost us. When people give me the Josh Rosen thing, I go, once in NFL history, once. And he had to be basically unplayable. I don't think Ty Simpson is going to be unplayable. Son of a coach. I don't think he's going to start the season. I think it would be terrible to start the season with him. I think it would, certainly with the Cleveland Browns, I think it would stun any growth that he could possibly have. I think it would have the potential to ruin him. But you know what? I'm an alarmist when it comes to QBs. But I'm not going to make that type of investment with the thoughts of I can just go back to the draft in the first round next year. I ain't going to do it. But I believe in my heart that Ty Simpson is not the answer for this football team. We are not a fit together.
Yeah.